Good morning, everybody. My name is Dale Sams, and I'm a veteran storm chaser and NOAA storm chaser here. Happy Saturday. Let's go ahead and make a video here breaking down today's severe weather setup here across the Dakotas, Northern Plains, and across Virginia. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me go and show you the current atmospheric conditions. And this is what we're looking at here is your green, light blue. Here, this represents the dew point and temperature here across the Northern Plains up here, and also the current pressure here. So what we need to focus on here today across this region is across North Dakota here to even South Dakota, and this is where we're going to be watching here. And you can already see those those green and blue lines here, meaning the temperatures are rising. Here, dew point is rising, and even the pressure here, low pressure here, is strengthening. Here, as those gradient lines get tighter, here it is a strengthening low pressure, and it will continue to strengthen through the day here. That will enhance today's severe setup as expected here across North Dakota. Okay, let's go and take a look here at our severe outlook here for today. This was as of 8 o'clock this morning by the NOAA Storm Prediction Center. So you can see here, if we zoom in, the main focus area is going to be here across the Northern Plains, here from North Dakota to even extreme northwest South Dakota and eastern Montana. Here, this is where the level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk is in place. Here, outside covered by the slight risk and marginal risk. Tornado risk here today across the Dakotas is a 5% here in the brown, and then a 2% now. Someone did ask me last night what was my thoughts on the tornado parameters here, tornado threat this weekend with all the setups, severe setups here. For today, there's a lot of moving parts. Here, this is not what I would call a classic tornado setup. Here, this is going to be mainly a damaging wind and large hail setup, but because there is a cap in the atmosphere here that for a lot of this area. So again, we're expecting storms to break through that cap, but there's not a lot of low-level spin or vertical spin in the atmosphere to really get tornadogenesis to start and go through its process here. So a few tornadoes are possible today. We'll have to really see how things pan out locally from a local threat standpoint and a conditional standpoint versus a widespread area standpoint. Okay, wind threat today here. This is going to be the primary severe risk today, in my opinion. Where you can see we have a SIG 1, that's this black, hatched outline here, and then even further in here over Dickerson, North Dakota, here you can see even a darker hatched area here. This is a SIG 2 here, so 30% SIG 2 for damaging winds. This is where we can see 75, 80 plus mile per hour wind gusts here across southwest North Dakota. Again, this is going to be the biggest threat for severe winds today. And then we can't forget about our folks down here in Virginia. Here, okay, you do have a damaging wind risk today, and I will go further into the specific hazards and threats today. But here's the damaging wind risk, and then the large hail risk here again is going to be focused here across eastern Montana, southwest North Dakota, and northwest South Dakota and North Dakota here. Okay, so this is where we can see 2-inch hail or larger with the storms that remain discrete or superciliar before they grow upscale into more of a linear mode. So this is where the best chance for 2-inch hail or greater. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in here to the HER model here for today. All right, so let me move my camera here. There we go. All right, so we're taking a look here at 11 o'clock local time here, 11 o'clock a.m. this morning. And you see there's really nothing. I mean, there's some rain on radar business from this morning and not really, for this afternoon. Okay, so now as we get to about 3 o'clock, again, still, mainly clear. We do have a few supercells here forming over southeast Montana as it enters the slight risk zone. slight risk parameters. So we could already have a watch posted later today by mid-afternoon here for eastern Montana. But this is when storm development is going to occur, and then as we move through here 7 p.m., you see supercells really, blow up here across the enhanced risk here across eastern Montana, western North Dakota here, and this is where again the 2-inch hail or larger is going to be likely, and then that would also be the best chance for any spin-ups or low-end tornadoes here before everything starts growing upscale and becomes outflow dominant here and becomes more of a linear storm mode with damaging winds. Again, 80 plus miles per hour here, and also large hail. Now, taking a look here over across the Virginia coast here, all right? Again, we're not going to forget you guys. There's severe risks for your area today. So taking a look here, we're taking a look here at about 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time, okay? And you see there's a few storms, but it didn't really get going here until about 4 p.m. And again, these are going to be very scattered in nature in terms of supercells. And again, large hail and damaging winds is your primary threat here today. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down the hazards even more. Now we're taking a look here at the HREF, or High Resolution Ensemble Forecast Model here, and this is specifically looking at the probabilities for severe hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes here. Okay, so we're going to first start off with the hail probability according to the latest HREF model here, and again, this is looking at 3 p.m. You see there's really nothing, and then you see closer to Nashville, Tennessee, around 4 p.m. there's a highlighted area for large hail, but it really doesn't, this model doesn't really show a large hail risk until later tonight, 7 p.m. at the earliest here across Virginia, and then going into 9 p.m. then, and you see it really maximizes here along the Virginia coast. All right, similar thing for damaging winds. All right, and so again, damaging winds, 60 miles per hour, and 1-inch hail is going to be the primary hazards. I'm not really concerned about the tornado threat here today across the Virginia coast. The tornado parameters in the environment look less supportive across the Virginia coast than it does across the northern plains. So again, not really too concerned about the tornado threat there, but as always, if there's a severe risk, there is here a tornado risk. Okay, now taking a look here across the northern plains, and here, give me a second. All right, so we are taking a look here at the hail probability, and again by 5 p.m. here, sorry, I'm being terrible with my camera today. By 5 p.m. you see it starts to highlight here across southeast Montana, and then as we go through the evening here, and then it starts to increase, and same with the damaging wind risk here, and we're taking a look here about 9 p.m. And again, these little pockets of red and purple, that's where you're going to see your 80 plus mile per hour damaging wind gust here. All right, so and again, for the tornado probability here, this particular model does have a very small area across southeast Montana here, where in the enhanced risk, where it does have a highlighted yellow and even red, orange to red here, that's something to watch. Again, the tornado parameters today are not off the charts. This is not really a tornado-driven setup or enhanced risk, but kind of like a few days ago across Kansas and Oklahoma border, where the tornado threat increased during the day versus what was forecasted in the morning time. So again, it's something we'll watch here. So I also wanted to show you here, this is the current pattern that we're going to be entering here, okay? So we're taking a look at the AI GFS model here, looking up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And, people ask me all the time, Dale, how can you look to see, what's driving severe weather setups now, and what could potentially draw severe weather setups in the future. When you have to look at the overall pattern, you have to look at a lot of things, but the overall pattern is one of the first few things you look at because it really depicts from a synoptic scale, an overview scale of where are areas that can see impactful weather versus areas that less likely to see impactful weather, okay? So again, this is the current pattern that we are entering and we're going to be stuck in here for about a week, and this is a typical summer pattern where we see high pressure build here across the plains and across the southern plains here. This is where it's mainly going to be dry, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. Here, extreme heat is going to take place over the next week across the plains and then southern plains and southeast. All right, while up across the portions of the northern plains, this is where low pressures are going to go up and travel. And because you see this flow here, this is the highway, I like to call it the highway for storm systems in an active storm area here, storm coverage area, where we can see stormier periods, where we can see multiple days of severe setups here focus across the northern plains and upper Midwest, where you see those tighter gradient lines and stronger flow here to support organized severe storms. All right, so this is the pattern that we're going to be in through 4th of July weekend. All right, and then just it looks right now, Maul's hint right after 4th of July weekend, then the pattern flips. Okay, and you see how much it flips. Okay, now the high pressure is building across the desert southwest, and then the pathway, the active storm pattern goes from the Pacific Northwest into the northern plains, into the central plains, and then into portions of the southeast and east here. So again, I think for the plains, central plains here and southern plains, for the next week, it's mainly going to be hot, humid, and dry here. And then after 4th of July weekend, then the pattern flips and then becomes more active here and staying active across the northern plains, but including now the central plains and even portions of the southeast. Okay, so that's kind of looking ahead, just beyond the 4th of July weekend next weekend here. Because again, I've gotten some questions on what July looks like here. So what's it going to look like from an overall standpoint. So again, we're going to kind of get the best of both worlds here for the first week of July. Hot, humid, that's going to be, and then stormier across the northern plains, and then going into the second week of July, you get this pattern here where it gets hot and humid across the desert southwest. This is also going to fuel fire risk here across the desert southwest. It's been consecutive days now of extreme fire risk, critical fire fuels here across the desert southwest. This is going to enhance here, I think, in the second week of July here. So I don't really see any real relief for the western tier, southwest tier. So that's something also to monitor. And I'm just going to throw this in there. The National Hurricane Center is already watching some potential tropical, low-end tropical formation here across off the Virginia coast here. That's something to watch. Again, I don't expect anything major to come out of it because you can see where the flow currently starts to break off here as it gets to the East Coast and the Virginia coast. And it's also so close to the high pressure that's going to be strengthening over the coming days. So again, we'll have to watch and see. We are in hurricane season, tropical season now for the Atlantic Basin, but we're also in an El Nino, and the El Nino is going to strengthen as we go later into fall and winter and everything. So typically the Atlantic Basin doesn't really attract a whole lot of strong tropical activity during El Nino patterns, but that also doesn't mean that there can't be a tropical cyclone, a hurricane, or even a potential strong hurricane. But currently right now, that's something to watch. And then especially as we get into middle of July, that may be even more of an area to watch because now you see there's more stronger flow here coming out of the northwest and flowing into the Virginia coast and East Coast. So we'll have to just, again, continue to monitor the tropics over the next few weeks here for any sneaky setups that want to occur directly or indirectly to the U.S. So that's your current breakdown. I included a little bit more talking about the tropics and fire weather too, but that is an overall breakdown for today's severe weather setup here. And something I also want to throw in here too. This current setup that that you see, oops, wrong one. This one here, this setup that we're currently going to be in. This is going to, across the northern plains and upper Midwest here, this is also going to fuel multiple days of severe weather into early next week. Right now, the NOAA Storm Prediction doesn't have anything highlighted. I don't have anything highlighted on my personal outlooks because some of the mesoscale details and synoptic details are still a little murky beyond Monday. Again, we are in a favorable pattern for multiple days of severe weather across the northern plains and upper Midwest. So the idea is as we get closer to early next week, those few uncertainties regarding, severe setup here across the northern plains and upper Midwest should become clearer. So I wouldn't be shocked if in my own personal outlooks, over the coming days, I add areas of severe weather across the northern plains and upper Midwest, and even the NOAA Storm Prediction are adding 15% hash outlines here and markers for severe weather across these areas. So overall, that is the today's setup here and what to expect over the next few weeks here across the board. I will try to later today post my latest personal severe weather outlooks here over the coming days, give an updated look at it here. And if you live in an area for severe weather today, have a severe weather safety plan, have a reliable source to receive watches and warnings, and as always, be safe. And if you live in an area too today and over the coming days of seeing extreme heat, stay hydrated. If you're going to be outside, stay hydrated. Okay, we're talking about some dangerous heat here, and really the first real big heat wave of 2026, and for the summer especially. So, but on the note here, follow me on Twitter X at DaleSamsWX2. Here, if you want to stay updated on the latest of today's severe setup and weather over the coming days. Here, hope you have a fantastic and blessed rest of your Saturday. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.